Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just I will repeat some of the content. So should I start, Prithviraj? Nihal? Nihal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then Suraj? You can unmute and respond. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just I will repeat some of the content so that you will get a better idea, as this unit is having weightage of around 15 mark. So basically we have seen the types of resistances to the vehicle motion. So first resistance, that is called as the aerodynamic or air resistance. Or air resistance. Then second one, that is rolling resistance. Which originates from the roadway surface or the tire interface. And third one is grade resistance. Okay. Then we have seen detailed what is regarding air resistance. So resistance offered by air to the movement of then this air resistance has influence on performance. This we have seen. Then right, then the stability, and it also depends on size of the vehicle, shape of the vehicle, then speed and the wind velocity to be considered when indicated, or sometimes that is mentioned in the problem statement. Wait for 1 minute. Huh? Okay. Now, so this we have seen depend on size of the vehicle body, then shape of the vehicle body, speed, wind velocity to be considered when given in the problem statement or with respect to the indications, whether it is given or not. Then the formula to calculate this air resistance, we have seen that RA is equal to KA V square, where A is projected frontal area in meter square. Then V is speed of the vehicle in kilometers per hour. K coefficient of the air resistance in Newton hour square per meter square kilometer square. So value for this K we have seen 0.023 for best streamline car. Again it is 0.031 for average car. So those cars which are not streamlined. And third value that is 0.041 45 for trucks or and lorries. So this is about the air resistance. So this we have seen. Okay. Then next resistance, that is rolling resistance, or we can call it as a road resistance. Remember that rolling and road resistance are same. Whenever total road resistance or total resistance will be there, then we are going to consider air resistance, rolling resistance, and gradient resistance. So it is its magnitude depends mainly on nature of road surface. So whether that surface is made up of with asphalt, then macadam, then it is gravel one, the clay one, wood or the sand. So poor road or good road, whether it is wet or dry road condition. So based on that, the magnitude of rolling resistance or road resistance is going to be changed. It also depends on the type of tire, pneumatic, or sometimes only solid rubber is provided over the rim. And it also has influence with respect to the inflation of the tires. So whether less inflation or tires are fully inflated. Based on that also the magnitude of road resistance is going to be changed. And most important, the rolling resistance has influence, which is the weight of the vehicle, and finally the speed of the vehicle. So formula to calculate rolling resistance, that is RR is equal to KW, where W is total weight of the vehicle in Newton. Then this K is constant of rolling resistance which depends upon nature of road surface and types of tire. So value for this K varies based on the surface of the road. So for good condition, the value of this K is 0.0051. For road having loose sand, so value is 0.018, and finally their value is not given. In that case, we are going to consider K is equal to 0.015 as an representative value. Okay. Again, there is one more relation for calculating the rolling resistance. So that is RR is equal to, in bracket, A plus BV bracket complete W. So where V is equal to speed of the vehicle in kilometers per hour, value of A is equal to 0.015, value of B is equal to 0.0016, and W, you know, that is the weight of the vehicle. So some of the important notes you can see here displayed on the screen. So this rolling resistance is greater for soft, muddy and sandy road than hard, dry, wooden paved roads. So rolling resistance experienced by vehicle on soft roads, on muddy roads, that means having clay and sandy roads, it is more. So more tractive effort is required, more power is required to drive vehicle on those roads. And in case of wooden paved roads or road having paved structure, so there is less rolling resistance. You can consider our highways. So this is for your information. I have added what is paved road. So roads covered with material such as stones, concrete to make it suitable for vehicle traffic. So that is meaning of that paved roads. So generally, to make such type of road, there is one machinery called as a paver, road paver. So that will spread uniform layer of stones, small stones and the concrete, and that is useful to create good roads. Okay. So this rolling resistance is less with respect to the pneumatic tire as compared to the solid rubber tire. So wherever pneumatic tires are provided, so for those vehicles, there will be less rolling resistance as compared to the solid rubber tires. Okay. Then this is the relation. Here you can see this AB, that is based on the road surface, and this W is directly proportional to the, sorry, this rolling resistance is directly proportional to this W. So this W is directly related to the weight. So that's why rolling resistance is directly proportional to the weight of the vehicles. Weight of the vehicle. So weight increases, automatically rolling resistance is going to be increased. Then next one, that is grade resistance. So what is grade resistance, that we are going to check. So you can see here the figure on the screen. So this way we have considered road, it is having stripper nature, In this direction, vehicle is in motion. So what is this grade resistance? So it is component of weight of the vehicle parallel to the gradient or the slope. So this one is the slope. We need to find out component along this line. So how to find out component along this line? So first we have marked here W, which is acting in downward direction. Then this angle we have considered, that is theta with respect to the horizontal. This theta based on the trigonometry, this is theta, this will also theta. Just we have considered this triangle. Then this becomes 90 minus theta, or 90 minus, here it is 90. This angle is unknown. Then this is 90 minus theta. So we can get the value for this corner as a theta. So W is acting in downward direction. We have resolved this along this line. Then it becomes W cos theta. When this W is resolved along the slope or along the gradient, then it becomes W sine theta. Okay. Therefore, grade resistance is equal to Rg is equal to W sine theta. So here total vehicle weight, which is in Newton, theta is inclination of the angle, inclination of the slope to the horizontal, and which is denoted by theta. So this grade resistance depends upon theta as well as this W, mass of the vehicle and slope of the road on which vehicle is moving. So if this slope will be increased, that means if theta we are going to increase, and suppose this is the theta, this is the exaggeration actually, like this, there will not be motion of the vehicle. So if this theta will be increased, again the value of this grade resistance is going to be increased, and if theta is decreased, then value will be decreased for the grade resistance. And if theta is 0, or we can consider the vehicle is moving on a leveled road, in this case theta is 0. So sine of small angle, so there will be 1. So directly we can get here W. So directly it will directly proportional to the W. Okay. Then next part we have seen, that is acceleration. So just I'm repeating that as well. So when the vehicle is accelerated, what we have seen, there are number of rotating parts, and they are rotating with some of the gear ratio. Based on that, those are also going to accelerate themselves depending upon the moment of inertia. So again, that moment of inertia, that means mass will be taken into account, and accordingly there will be acceleration for each of the component. So whatever weight of the vehicle, it is originally having W Newton, it becomes W E Newton. So again, that W E, we are going to call it as the effective or equivalent weight of the vehicle. So this condition or this assumption, by considering this assumption, we are making one more assumption in terms of the surplus power. So at this condition, means whenever vehicle is accelerated, its components are accelerated. At this condition, it is assumed that surplus power, that is surplus tractive effort, is fully utilized for the acceleration. So whatever excess power which has been used to accelerate the vehicle. So with that basic assumption, we are defining surplus power or excess power in terms of this effective weight and acceleration and the speed with the formula WEF into V divided by 3600. Okay. So this surplus power is expressed in kilowatt. So you can check this next formula here as we are discussing acceleration. So here F we are going to take on the left hand side and just rearranging the terms. So based on this, we can get this F on the left hand side. So 1 upon WE surplus power into 3600 divided by V. Okay. So this is carried forward again. Then this is the formula. So yesterday already we have seen this. Okay. So here this PR is P suffix R. Somewhat it has been changed. So PE and PR, engine power required by the vehicle, that already we have seen. Okay. Then 1 upon WE inside the bracket tractive effort minus road resistance. So this we have seen as the maximum acceleration is equal to 1 upon WE inside the bracket F minus R. Then next term we have seen gradability or climbability. So it is the maximum percentage grade which a vehicle can negotiate with full rated condition. With full rated condition. So already during derivation of the surplus power or excess power, so we have made their assumption. Accordingly, we can get surplus power is equal to W into gradability into V divided by 100 into 3600. So this gradability we have included in the expression of the surplus power, and we have related to this surplus power. Okay, where W is weight of the vehicle in Newton. So just by rearranging the terms, check this. Gradability is equal to 100 divided by W, cross multiplication, and this is nothing but the surplus power we have seen. So actually it is P here eta T, and this one is PV. So this V is suffix. Then again is equal to 100 by W as it is. This one is tractive effort and this is road resistance. Okay. Therefore, 100 divided by W, F minus R. So this is tractive effort and this PV this is road resistance. Okay. Okay. Then next one, that is drawbar pull. So first of all, you can see what is drawbar pull. So it is pulling force which is utilized to propel the vehicle. So whatever power required, first of all, to overcome the resistances on the road, maybe due to the air or aerodynamic resistance, then rolling resistance and the gradient resistance. After that, whatever force available, with that force vehicle can be propelled in the forward direction, and that pulling force we are going to call it as a drawbar pull. Okay, so again that excess power assumption, when the excess power is fully utilized for pulling extra load attached to the vehicle, then we can have maximum drawbar pull is equal to tractive effort minus road resistance, that is F minus R. Here this R is nothing but road resistance. Here you are going to consider total resistance. So note that the road resistance in this case is RA plus RR. So here we are not considered the gradient. So whatever force available and that is used to propel the vehicle, that we have considered, and for level the road, that's why here RA and RR is considered. So drawbar pull is equal to F minus RA plus RR. So R is equal to these two resistances. Okay. Okay. Then next, just I have changed some sequence. So after this we have completed. Then power for propulsion or power required for vehicle to propel the vehicle in forward direction. So generally we have seen the motion of vehicle moving on a road is resisted by aerodynamic forces, which may include sometimes wind or air, and road resistance, that is rolling resistance, whatever resistance offered by the road during motion of the vehicle. Then in addition to these two resistances, vehicle has to overcome the resistance when it moves up on a gradient, because weight of the vehicle is lifted through a vertical distance. So that we have seen as the grade resistance. So again, because of these resistances, the power required to propel the vehicle is proportional to the total resistance to its motion and the speed. So this power is proportional to the total resistance or whatever power required to propel any particular vehicle. That depends upon how much resistance it confronts while moving on the road and the speed. So based on that, just first of all, we'll see the terminology. I will display all the things. Okay. So let this PV is power required by the vehicle in kilowatt. Then PR engine power required in kW kilowatt. V speed of the vehicle in kilometers per hour. Eta T transmission or driveline efficiency. R total resistance in Newton. RA air resistance in Newton. RR rolling resistance in Newton. RG grade resistance in Newton. So power required to propel the vehicle is defined using following equation. So PV is equal to R into V divided by 3600. So you can see this. This is the formula that we are going to use, but how it is derived, you can check this relation. So power is equal to work done upon time. So force into displacement divided by time. So here, this is the velocity or the speed that we are going to consider. And this force means resistance. Right. So speed is given in kilometers per hour. We are going to convert into meter per second. So to convert it into meter, multiply by 100. किलोमीटरचं मीटर मध्ये करण्यासाठी 1000 ने मल्टिप्लाय केलं. Then this hour. So we need to write here 60 into 60. This is for this. Okay. Now we need to get value in kilowatt. So therefore divided by 1000. So 1000, which we have taken to convert kilometer into hour, and which we have added in the denominator to make power in kilowatt. This get cancelled. So what is remaining? This is the final relation we got. So this PV is equal to RV divided by 3600. That is power required for propulsion or power required to propel the vehicle, where R is total resistance in Newton. On level road, it is RA plus RR. Again, on road having steep road conditions for vehicle which moves up on a gradient, this is the total resistance. So this is not enough. So we need to consider losses in the transmission as well. For that reason, we need to include this transmission efficiency. And how to write that transmission efficiency? This transmission efficiency is equal to So PV. So already we have seen yesterday. So here it is PV. I will show that to you. Okay, it is not there. So transmission efficiency, yesterday already we have seen output divided by the input. So accordingly, we can have this relation. So transmission efficiency is equal to PV by PR, and just we have rearranged the term. Then we can get the value of this PR. That is required engine power. So accordingly, in some of the example, this PV will be asked, and if we are going to get the value of PV, accordingly we can calculate the required engine power. Okay, thank you. Okay, you can leave the meeting. I have taken screenshot for attendance.